against my mind and my purity at such a young age, trying to just really break me down. Some of the things I'm going to share today are going to be a little rough, but I feel like it's the truth that sets people free. There's so many instances that led up to, maybe a nervous breakdown or panic attacks. But, when I was little, I want to start by saying, I was introduced to pornography at like age 2. Like, I was such a pure child. Like, I can't explain it. It really did something to my heart. It really brought in some torment. And I was bullied, for the way that I looked and my nose, and I had acne and all these things. And I just remember between, some chaos in my personal life as a child and then chaos at school, like I pulled out all my eyelashes and eyebrows. And I love my family dearly, but the foundation that was set, was just not the most peaceful foundation. And everybody's broken, everybody has issues. It's not like there's no finger point. Like who I am today is because of what I got to walk through. The Lord was always there. And I didn't know about the prophetic or anything, but he was always speaking to me. Like, now I look back and I'm like, oh, that makes so much sense. All of that was just the foundation of just, being tormented, being sifted, and also having this mental illness, the chemical imbalance that ran in my family. When I was about 21 is when I actually had my first panic attack, anxiety attack, and I had to quit my job. There's so much shame in it. And shame is what keeps you from actually wanting to move forward. And it's really what keeps you in bondage. So, and, I was healed of mental illness. I was miraculously healed of mental illness. Wasn't in a moment. It was a process. I believe that if you really follow the process of God's heart for you specifically in whatever way that looks like, then he will heal you. And I just want to tell people there's a difference between miracles and healing. A miracle happens right away. Healing can take time. So I do believe that you can be healed of mental illness, but I also believe that you can't do it alone. You have to be very vulnerable. You have to have a good team, whatever that looks like for you.
So what advice would you give to somebody maybe that's struggling and they feel they're in a bad place because they need medication right now? Does that mean that they're doing something wrong? Does it mean that they're failing? Does it mean that they just don't have enough faith?
Have as much grace for yourself as you would have for somebody else and as God has for you. Because, I have physical illness in my body that God hasn't fully healed. And I have to take medication for that. And there's been times where I have been prayed for and they talk about the gift of faith and quit your medicine. And God's like, listen, you'll know the moment I ask you to stop something, but I need you to have grace for yourself in this process. So addressing medication, I want people to understand that whether you're on medication for a little bit, or you're on medication for a lifetime, either way, it doesn't make you less than. I have an amazing psychiatrist and I still go to him for my soul. I still go to him, if anything's needed, I don't care.
What would you have wanted your family and your friends to say to you that would encourage you? How could they have supported you?
I think sometimes people just need to be listened to. Yeah. It's less than, in this culture, it's all about noise, right? And everybody's talking to us. And what's really lacking is giving a voice to the voiceless. So I would encourage families to just listen. And I would encourage families and spouses that if you don't understand, go to a counselor, go to a psychiatrist, sit in on some of these. Half the time, the spouses and the family feel more hopeless than even the person because they're watching it. We need to stop feeling like we have to fix everything. We don't have to fix everything. Like, nobody could fix me when I was where I was at. Only God could.
Right. And that's kind of the whole goal of this, is just to provide resources. And one resource that I personally have found really valuable is your weekly devotional, Danielle. Mm-hmm. So can you tell us a little bit about that, and where do people go to sign up for that, and how do they find you?
So I have a ministry called Rivers of Love Ministries, and so it's riversofloveministry.com, and you can go on there. There's YouTube videos, and you can sign up for the weekly devotional, and There's prophetic songs that I release that I just kind of, basically I record songs of my own time with the Lord, and I, just about where I'm at. So I find that helps people. The more resources we have to encourage people, the more they're not going to feel alone, because sometimes the process just takes longer, and you really just have to have the hope that if you just wake up and take your baby steps and just go to the next doctor or go to the next place and just do it and give it another try, like, you're gaining strength. Just like when you go to the gym and you can't pick up a weight because you're so weak and you've never been there. 2 pounds is a lot. And then, 4 months later, you're at 5 pounds, 10 pounds, because you strengthened yourself. So really just continuing on, even when you don't feel like it, I would say is really the hope key.
If you or someone you know needs to chat with somebody, call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-8255. Or you can log on to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention at afsp.org. If you need prayer, reach out to us. Danielle and I would love to pray for you. riversofloveministry.com or fieldevangelist.com.